my job basically involves going to dangerous places, I thought I'd kind of tell you a little bit about some of the places I go where it's particularly dangerous for gay people to go. And it was mentioned there in Chechnya, because Chechnya is probably the most dangerous place in the world to be gay. There have been widespread reports of gay men being abducted by police forces, imprisoned, tortured, and even killed. It's a nationwide hunt to track down and extinguish gay people. So, naturally, a couple of years ago, I decided to go there. I found myself in a prison cell in the middle of the night with the head of the Chechen police force. I know, it sounds hot, doesn't it? A man who's been... If you've seen Chechens, they don't know how kind of arousing they can be. They're big and muscular. Anyway, this is a man who's been individually sanctioned by the United States for his role in the oppression of gay people. And in that cell, which had likely held other young men like me, surrounded by his armed guards, I told him that I am gay. I had no plan to do that. I didn't want to make myself the story, which says a lot as a gay man who works in television. But I didn't want to put the team at risk, and I certainly didn't want to make life even more difficult for the brave young men, the gay men who'd agreed to speak to us for our film. But it felt right, and after a couple of tense moments while the translation was being made, he suddenly burst out laughing, a huge, booming, evil villain laugh, which for someone who was so aggressively anti-gay was an impressive amount of drama. I was a little scared, and without thinking, I grabbed his hand and made him feel my heart. It was beating very fast. I don't speak Russian. I didn't imagine he would understand my explanation for why I would be so scared to tell him this, but I thought taking him by the hand and showing him would make him think. It probably didn't, but maybe for a small moment he had his ideas about gay people challenged. We'd spent the day together, he seemed to like me, not in that way. I did not fit any of the stereotypes he imagined. I hoped maybe for a few moments I could break those delusions. And when I'm doing my job in places where it's not okay to be gay, which, by the way, is the vast majority of this planet, I'm very, very conscious of three groups of people. The first are the people I meet, like this police chief, who may have their ideas about gay people challenged when they meet me. The second are those at home who might have the same views as that police chief. Our stories go out across America into the homes of the very liberal and the very conservative. Maybe they too might for a moment be forced to stop and think. The third group is the one I care most about. It's the young LGBT people who, like me, had no one in their lives who was gay during their most formative years. I feel really strongly that being gay, quite simply, makes me a better reporter. It also makes me a better dresser, decorator, dancer, traveler, texter, dinner companion, and dog owner, but mainly a reporter. Because my job is mostly about meeting people when something has gone very wrong in their lives, it's important that I'm able to connect with them. Now, I live a very comfortable life. I'm sure many of you in this room, working out who I really was did take time. It was a lonely experience. I really struggled, which I hope gave me a certain amount of empathy. Which means being gay is a fundamental part of not just who I am in my personal life, but in my professional life too. I want people to keep being reminded that we are here, because we are the fortunate few. In my experience, LGBT people are some of the most vulnerable in the whole world. In this job, I cover a lot of sadness. Whether it's in Ukraine or Syria or Gaza, often stories revolve around people losing everything, forced to move, to start new lives. And as global inequality grows, this mass movement of people is only getting more pronounced. Immigration has become one of the most important issues for countries all over the world. And as people are uprooted, they lose what makes them safe. For LGBT people, that loss can be life-threatening, because when a state falls apart, people have to rely on their own networks to survive, their family, their religious group, their tribe. But LGBT people often don't have those support networks. The net that catches other refugees or migrants does not catch them. And in fact, many LGBT refugees are on the run from their own families. In Lebanon, I met Syrian refugees whose own relatives had turned them in to ISIS. In Uganda, I met young men whose fathers had vowed to kill them. So I'm proud to be standing here among you, a part of, yes, a chosen family, and I hope your work can provide space for the millions of people around the world who really, really need us, because it is community that keeps you safe, healthy, and above all, happy. Thanks very much, guys.